In the garden route, and I think he said he's sitting in Georgia, Mossel Bay, I'm not quite sure. But there's an NGO in the Western Cape's garden route that has developed a product called a food sock. To help reduce hunger and keep food on the table for vulnerable people. And to tell us more about this fantastic, I think, initiative is Carl van Blerk from the Garden Route Food Pantry. And I must say, I saw this on TV the other day, and we were blown out of our minds, my wife and I. Carl, hearty good morning to you all the way from Grabouw. Whereabouts are you?
Very good morning, and thank you so much for your kind words. Yes, I'm sitting in the beautiful city of George out in the garden route.
Okay, all right. Listen, we're not all that jealous. I mean, I stay in Gordon's Bay, so closer to the sea I couldn't be.
No, that's a beautiful place too. I was actually born in Gordon's Bay, so I love that area too.
Okay, so you know exactly all about Gordon's Bay.
Absolutely.
Carl, this is a fantastic initiative. When did this Garden Route Food Pantry start?
We started about just over 2 years ago. It was right in the middle of COVID.
Okay.
The garden route is really, everybody's battling, so I don't by any means take it away from anyone else. But the garden route is known as one of the poorest regions of the Western Cape because we rely so heavily on tourism.
Yeah.
And of course, with COVID, that just went through the floor. So for many years, probably over a decade, I've been trying to find a way to start some sort of a food bank in the garden route area, and in some ways COVID gave me the opportunity. So we started the food pantry about 2.5 years ago to address the hunger and the shortage of food for those that are battling.
And a food sock, huh?
Yeah.
That's incredible. How did you come up with that idea?
I would say it's out of necessity. One of the things that we found was happening is, and there's a very alarming and scary trend that's happening in South Africa at the moment, and that is we've got more and more people, and for want of a better term, let's call them sort of middle-class society, that are shifting into poverty. And this is not people that live in traditionally poor areas. We're talking about our next-door neighbors, everybody. They're paying their bond and their rent and their car expenses and the school fees and the transport, and the list is going on. And everything is getting more expensive. So what is the only place people have that they cut down their expenses? And that's food.
Yeah.
Sadly, it's true. But so people are eating less frequently. They're eating less nutritious meals. So we're getting inundated with people saying, look, we can't feed our kids. We've got no money for food. So I had to come up with a solution, something that would address the shortage of food in an average household that would be very affordable, and not just affordable, but very affordable. And that is nutritious and tasty and delicious to eat, and hence the food sock.
Well, I tell you, I think this is a godsend, initiative, Carl. It's absolutely fantastic. What you say, nutrition food, that very nutritional. What do you put in the sock?
Yeah, so what we did was we're starting off now with basically 6 recipes, and we've got it's a tomato breedy, chicken biryani, we've got a mutton stew, we've got a bolognese, a soup, and me being, I've been involved in food for a long time, but I'm not a chef. So what I did was I went to go and seek out some of the top quality chefs. And here in George, we've actually got one of the country's top chef training schools. It's Francois Ferreira Academy. He's known not only nationally, but internationally. And I happen to know Francois personally fairly well. So I approached him and said, look, can you help us with this to get the right flavors, the right nutrition, and get your chefs and your school to work with it, which he absolutely grabbed at the opportunity because he saw the benefit. So we've been working with him and also working with Nathaniel. A lot of people know Nathaniel as our celebrity chef, entertainer, singer, and he's got a passion for food as well, and also food security. So also working with him. And so the sock, basically, it's a long-lasting because we base it on a soya product. So it's not got proper meat in it. It has a soya base, which makes it also great for vegetarians. And if you treat soya properly, properly and you put the right flavorings and nutrition with it, it's actually very nice, and you can hardly tell the difference when you're eating it. So it's a soya-based product with lots of flavorings, and the sock contains everything. So literally, a user takes this, snips off the top of it, pours it into a pot of boiling water, and cooks it for about 20 minutes, and it's done. And it's got everything from it. And what makes it quite versatile as well is that if you want to, like for example, over the weekend I made the chicken pasta one, which we quite enjoy. It's one of our favorites. And I happened to have a couple of pieces of chicken in the freezer, so I cut them up and I threw it in with it. So you can actually add something with it, although it's not a necessity. So that's the sock.
Yo, boy, listen, you just, I don't know whether he will remember, but I had the privilege of working with Francois for many, many, many years on a different radio station, and we went on a tour. And I was his sort of gopher in the kitchen. He was the cook, and I used to just say, Rich, give me that. I'm not quite sure whether he will remember, but if you see him again, Carl, just tell him that I send my regards. How many people can you feed from one sock?
Well, that's the beauty of it. So we've got two different sizes. The full size, which has 4 to 6 meals. And the reason we say 4 to 6 is because each portion is an adult portion. So you've got 4 adult portions from one sock. However, if you've got a family, 2 adults, maybe 3 kids, one sock will still be enough. And then we've got a smaller half-size one, which is ideal for 1 or 2 people. It actually has 2 adult portions. And that is perfect for, let's say for argument's sake, you've got an elderly mom or dad, or elderly mom and dad who just are, it's difficult to survive. The costs and the difficulty in cooking sometimes. So it's perfect for the elderly. It's perfect for students. So there's so many students in various different cities sitting in res and sitting in all sorts of accommodation that just need food. So it's perfect for them. In fact, even if you're a hiker, you can chuck a little bag into the back of your rucksack and you've got something perfect for your next trip. Because all you need is a pot, water, and a source of heat. So,
that's fantastic. And which communities are you active in at the moment, Carl?
Well, we've been based in George and the Garden Route for the last 2.5 years, so most of our activities have been out here. But I must say, since we launched the product literally just a week or so ago, we've been inundated with people around the whole country. And what we're doing as well is because we have somebody, I mean, you can imagine, let's say somebody in Durban is battling a little bit and would like a pack. Courier costs can be a little bit of a problem. So what we're doing is we're inviting people from around the country to become resellers. And the idea would be that they would get it from us at an even lower cost. And by the way, I haven't mentioned the cost. No. The large ones are 30 Rand for 6 people, and then the smaller ones are 20 Rand for 2 people. So it's really a giveaway.
Sure.
So for resellers, they get it even cheaper than that, and then they can carry a little bit of stock so that if somebody in their region is looking for one, we can just divert them to the resellers, which saves them, having to pay courier costs for them for one packet, for example.
How often do you distribute these meals, Carl?
Well, we're sitting with a nice little challenge at the moment. We've been so inundated with requests that we've got a small staff here at the Garden Route Food Pantry. There's 5 of us in total, but we're going to be taking on a few extra people very soon to help us get the packing. But we normally we ask people to give us about 3 days from when they order, just to get their order ready and to get it into the courier for them. So basically every 3 days or so we send a batch out to wherever it might be in the country.
Are you thinking of extending this to other countries, other provinces as well, or other towns as well, Carl, or not?
I think so. I think, in order to be most efficient, we're definitely going to have to look at setting up, let's say, satellite shops or satellite warehouses in other places. I think it's become big enough. I mean, to give you an example without giving too much information because we're still negotiating, but we've been approached by somebody that's looking to export the product to Africa. And, I mean, the quantities they're looking at means that we're very quickly going to have to go into mass production if we get that contract, which is great because it's, at the end of the day, we're feeding a lot of people, and that's what it's all about. And
how can, our listeners, we're a couple of miles away from George, but how can our listeners get involved? Are you looking for contributions? Are you looking for people just to order your product? How can we help you?
That's a great question. So there's two options, as you put it. The one is for people that want to order for themselves or for a family member, that kind of thing. They can do that. I'll give you the link now for the address on where to find that. And then the other is for people that maybe just want to help somebody else in need, because at the end of the day, for if we can give out, especially in the very, very poor communities, if we can give out some of these for free, that would be amazing, because there are people who need it. So if there are people that would willing to make a financial contribution to sponsor, and they can say that we want to sponsor for a community in, let's say, for example, Gordons Bay, for argument's sake, wherever it might be, we will be more than happy to oblige that, or in general. Because that is a necessity as well. Then for us, for contact information, people can order directly off our website. Our website is www.echo, echo as in if you shout in the mountains, ECHO, so it's echo.org.za. So that's our website. And then our Facebook page, they'll find us under Garden Route Food Pantry on Facebook. And we've also got a Facebook page we started for the food sock. And that is literally just facebook.com food sock, singular.
Food sock. I'm trying to write all this down. Listen, I'm old and I don't know. Do they still have, what was that fast type of writing? Whatever. Anyway.
Oh, yes. What do they call that? That shorthand.
Yeah, there we go. Yeah. You're man after my own heart. Carl, just quickly, what is the sock made of?
The sleeve, what we've done there is we use a plastic, but we use a biodegradable plastic, so that we try and also just make sure that we're sticking to the best we can for the environment. So it's a biodegradable plastic, yeah.
Sure, this is absolutely fantastic. The Garden Route Food Pantry. Is this? Now, I know this sounds like maybe a trick question, but is this something that that you've patented? Can anybody start something like this, Carl, or not?
You know what? At the end of the day, anybody can start anything. So what we've done is, because it's a food product and it's really an existing, all we're doing is packing it in a particular way under a certain recipe. It's not something that can be patented, so we haven't done that. We have simply trademarked our brand. It's definitely out there, and the only thing we have to our advantage is that we've worked pretty hard in the last 3 to 4 months in getting the recipes right, and making sure that we have the right nutritional value, because that's important as well. If you're handing food out to people, you've got to make sure that it is safe, that it's been checked properly, that it's got all the nutritional, the regulations are upheld. So it's not necessarily as simple as throwing a few things together in a bag.
No, I'm sure that's the other end of the candle, of course. Now to make sure that whatever you put in there is nutritious for the people that are buying it. Have you? Are there any other? What would one call it? Hitches that, let's say, for instance, he's allergic to something or other. How do you get around something like that, Carl?
Yes, there's definitely, one has to think about allergies. It's very important. And of course, what we do is, because we're working with dehydrated products, we at least do get away with some of the things, but we've got to keep in mind what you call the sort of common allergies. When it comes to nuts, for example, and off the top of my head now, I'm not thinking correctly, but the top allergens, let's put it that way, we will publish on the pack. Although we don't use nuts and mushrooms, I know there are a lot of people that are allergic to mushrooms. So if there is a pack that's got mushrooms, we will use it. But at the moment, we're not using mushrooms at all. So we basically try to steer clear of the common things.
Yeah, no, sure.
That's the best. And then people, obviously, that have got allergies that are particularly unknown or sort of not very common are generally quite aware of that when they choose a food. We have had a few people ask us, does it, for example, contain nuts or dairy product or anything like that? So at least people are asking if it's necessary. Yeah.
Listen, talking about asking, our reception area, Carl, as you say, you grew up or you were born in Gordons Bay, covers the whole Overberg and a lot of the Helderberg areas as well. And somebody's asking here, where is your shop in George? Yes.
Well, look, if people are in the area, we've got a very nice warehouse, and we will definitely be selling straight out of the warehouse as well, which is, for those who might know George, we're very much in the middle of town in a street called Glaze Street. And the easiest way we normally explain to people where it is it's right in the same road as the BMW car dealership. So if anybody knows where that is, they generally are able to find us. So we invite people to come and visit us. We love people to visit us.
The BMW garage. We've got one of the Amazing Grace ministries in the Strand is in George Street. And now that you mentioned the BMW garage, we always refer them to the fire station. If you know where the fire station is, that's where the church is.
Okay. You got to find the landmark.
Yeah, you got to find the landmark. Carl, it's been an absolute privilege and pleasure talking to you. Is there a telephone number or not really?
Yes, absolutely. I'm more than happy to give my personal number out, and I don't mind if people contact me. It's 082 826 0731.
0731.
Yeah.
Okay.
And if there's anybody that is listening, the biggest thing for us is to get the message out. We want people to know that this product is available, and it can make a difference. If there are people that have a platform that we can spread the message, whatever it might be, we'd love to hear from them.
Fantastic. Carl, thank you very, very, very much. And as I say, I think this is one of the initiatives, and I don't want to give away my age, but I was in matric in 1964, so that's how old I am.
I wasn't born yet. I'm giving mine away.
But this is an initiative that I think is absolutely God-given, and it's a fantastic initiative, and we wish you guys and gals all the best. Thanks very much for talking to us this morning.
Very grateful. Thank you so much.
Okay, bye-bye. Bye.
Cheerio, bye-bye.
Ja, daar's hy, Carl van Blerk. And his telephone number, he says he doesn't mind you giving him a call for any more information or just to find out more about this initiative. I think it's absolutely fantastic. Is 082 826 0731. 082 826 0731. That's Carl van Blerk from the Garden Route Food Pantry.